The list, how every NFL defense will perform in 2024. Jurko guessed that the Bears were ranked 7th on this list. You're reading the book. You said you weren't going to read the book during the show. Jurko's already getting into the Aaron Rodgers book.
I'm here.
I know you are. How every defense is going to perform. Jurko guessed they're going to have the Bears at 7. They've got them awfully close, 8.
Yep.
Jets 1. Hard to argue at the top of this list. Jets 1, Browns 2.
They get after it, Carmen.
Ravens 3. Yeah, they do. Like all three of those defenses they've got what you're looking for. They've got stars at every level of the defense, you know?
Yep.
But for the first time in a while, it would appear the Bears also have some star power at every level of their defense. They've got a star pass rusher. They could use another one. They got a couple of really good linebackers that'll be in the mix if all goes well for Pro Bowl berths. They've got a young ascending secondary with I'd say a true star corner on one side and Jalen Johnson. So you want those star players at every level. It's the only way you're going to be good. Those top 3, I think, are no-brainers, to be honest. Jets, Browns, and Ravens. And then maybe you start to argue some of these. They've got Dallas at 4, Seattle at 5, the Steelers at 6, Texans 7. I think the Texans are one of the more intriguing teams, just period, especially on that defense. Danico Autry was suspended the first 6 games because of a performance-enhancing substance violation. So the Bears get a little lucky there. When they go down there in week 2, they won't have to worry about one of their adds to this defense. But if he comes back and he plays the rest of the year, that should make them even better. If they stay healthy, I think the Texans have a chance to be really good, especially considering DeMeco Ryans improved them pretty much in like all the important categories year to year. You know, from when he took over, where they were in 2022 to where they were last year, they started to make improvements pretty much across the board under Ryans, and I would expect that to continue, especially with their personnel. And then they've got the Bears at 8th. They're right. It looked a lot different after acquiring defensive end Montez Sweat in the middle of last season. The Bears finished the season ranked 17th in defensive efficiency. If we focus on weeks 9 through 18 after adding Sweat, the Bears ranked 6th in EPA per drive and 9th in success rate. The strength of this D is at corner. Jalen Johnson is one of the NFL's best. He's joined by ascending players, Tyreek Stevenson and Kyler Gordon. The Bears are also strong at linebacker with Tremaine Edmonds and TJ Edwards. The biggest question is whether they'll have enough pass rush outside of Sweat. Per FDN Football Almanac, and that's the site where Aaron Schatz is writing now. Even though the defense improved with Sweat, Chicago's pressure rate bumped up only from 32nd to 25th. I mean, it was god-awful the first half of the season. We told you the Bears still finished second with the second fewest sacks last year. So the pressure numbers and the sacks do have to go up. Finally, they write there are some reasons that regression factors could be in play here for Chicago. The defense had the 7th best injury luck last year and gained the 8th most EPA on takeaways. But I am buying that the young talent here will still shine. That was the summation, basically, of this Bears defense. And 8's probably a good spot. And I do think they're a fringy top 10 defense, or right around somewhere in the back half of the top 10.
I had them at 7. They got them at 8. That's exactly where they belong. And that's exactly the way they played in the second half of last year.
If I were going to...
I like it. I like exactly where they're at.
If I were going to nitpick a little bit here, I'll nitpick just a little.
Please feel free.
Can I play devil's advocate with you?
I wish you would.
You suck, Carmen. Sam Howell, Brian Hoyer and Aiden O'Connell, Bryce Young, Josh Dobbs, Jared Goff, good quarterback. Kyler Murray came back, was okay, was actually pretty good in the Bear game. Bears rushed for like 250 yards that day, if you remember. That's kind of why they won that game. Kyler Murray was okay. Taylor Heineke. Those are the quarterbacks the Bears beat last year. Heineke, Dobbs, Young, O'Connell, Hoyer, and Howell were truly among some of the worst quarterbacks in the league last year. This year, in addition to playing Jordan Love twice, playing Jared Goff twice,
Matt Stafford,
they have to face Matt Stafford,
CJ Stroud,
Trevor Lawrence. Still a bit of a mystery or an enigma sometimes, but a talented kid who might continue to get better. Brock Purdy, Geno Smith. The slate of quarterbacks is going to be better.
Smith.
Geno Smith's been a top 10 quarterback in the NFL the last 3 years. I don't know what you've been watching.
Not Geno Smith.
I don't know what team you've been watching.
He's a juggernaut.
I don't know what league you were watching the last 3 years. He's basically been a top 12 quarterback the last 3 years.
Well, that's because if you play all the games, you become a top 12 quarterback. I bet you there are.
All I'm telling you is,
I bet you there are 18 quarterbacks that didn't answer the bell last year for all 17 games.
I can promise you, Geno Smith's a lot better than Aiden O'Connell. and Brian Hoyer and Taylor Heineke and Josh Dobbs and Sam Howell.
I see. You
A
want
lot
to
better.
dampen the spirits of the Chicago Bears and Chicago Bears fans. That's what you're looking to do.
I'm asking.
I can understand you doubting Thomas. Do you want to see the holes in my hands?
I'm asking how much.
Do you want to see the holes in my hands, Thomas, to tell you how good, do you want to see how good the Bears are going to be this year?
Well, yeah,
Come
like
on,
how
man.
much?
Come on, dude.
How much harder will it
They're
be?
playing the third easiest schedule in the league.
On Vegas win totals,
In
they
the
are.
league. In the league.
They're definitely playing a harder slate of quarterbacks and offenses.
Third easiest schedule in the league. While you might be playing a better quarterback or a better
slate of offenses
or quarterback, you're still not playing dominant teams. So the reason that people are rosy for the Chicago Bears, and one guy here has picked them at 11 wins for the better part of the last 5 months, ever since the schedule has come out, I have sat there and nailed it on the head. It will be 11 this year. Didn't change my mind. Didn't start whistling a new tune when they saw Caleb do what Caleb did. Didn't want to jump on any bandwagons that were out there. Simply stated, analyzing from the jump and the get-go what was happening and what wasn't happening, and put the number at 11, in my expert opinion. And that's what I am. I'm an expert, NFL expert. I have it at 11. You can go ahead and notice that there's a better slate of quarterbacks. There's a lesser slate of teams then. That's all.
They do have 8 games against playoff teams last year, even with the third easiest schedule.
Yeah.
They have 8 games against playoff teams from a year ago.
Well, that's because everybody makes the playoffs.
Well, you do. You have 14 teams that make the playoffs. So
ridiculous already.
That's true.
Don't worry, there'll be 16 soon.
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
Half the league? I don't know.
The extra playoff game for the networks are as valuable as the extra week.
Do you think they don't care about like preserving the sort of integrity of the playoffs? They just rather add the revenue to their coffers?
Rather add the revenue to their coffers.
Because at some point you do want to make it challenging to make the postseason, right? Like
those days are gone. Those days are gone. Making it challenging, you've done that already. You've seen how it worked. Not bad. But now you are in the era of what you're at, where a playoff game is worth as much as a 18th game. It's the truth. You see what they're optioning these games off for, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
It's an auction.
It is.
Amazon Prime. I don't know what they're paying, or Netflix, whatever. Whoever's come down the pipeline
right,
lately,
you're right.
You know exactly what they cost.
What did Peacock pay for that Chiefs game? What was it? Wasn't it like 25 million or something? Or was it more than that? I'm trying. What was that number? It was absurd. Mm-hmm. So you're right. They just auctioned it up to the highest bidder.
Yeah, I mean.
So you're probably right about that.
The number's 11. When it comes back at the end of the year, and everybody wants to give me kudos.
Oh, I would.
And they want to slap me on the back and say, "You are our genius," and I'm going to say, "Yes, I am."
A 4-game improvement would be something.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about winning 50% more than 50% than you won a year ago. I mean, that'd be an incredible improvement.
I am excited about it.
It really would. Yeah. Eddie's on the north side. What's up, Eddie?
Hey guys, how you doing? So, with the Brady comment, dumbing down, I think he's referring to in these past 5 or 6 years, you guys got to admit, I've never seen so many running quarterbacks in my lifetime. And the first thing, if they don't see their first thing, they're out there running. Even Josh Allen. I mean, look at his stats. His passing stats were, 18 interceptions.
He
were
threw
pretty
a lot
bad.
of interceptions. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But look, 15 rushing touchdowns, and his lead running back got 2 rushing touchdowns. But, as soon as a bad sign is these quarterbacks are just taking off right away, and they're making their paycheck because of that, because people are looking into, well, they can run the ball now too. Whereas Brady, he sit there and survey the whole field.
But he couldn't run. But I would only, the only thing I would argue though, Eddie, is
couldn't.
That, when you say, well, Allen had 15 and his lead running back had 2, a lot of that is by design. I mean, that's not like, I wouldn't knock Josh Allen because of that necessarily.
How many design runs did they have for Josh Allen now in his 4th, 5th year?
I can
in the league. I mean, I know how many times he's rushed the ball.
Right, I know what
but
you mean.
A lot of that was because
runs.
he was getting pressured.
Yeah.
And he's scrambling. I don't think they're running many of that RPO stuff, run pass option, where all of a sudden, or any sort of option where he gets to go run the ball. I think a lot of his runs are either quarterback sneaks or
goal line.
He's dropping back looking for somebody to pass to, and there's nobody to pass the ball to, and now he's got to make a positive play out of nothing.
Yeah.
but I believe Stephon Diggs is like, I'm out of here. You know what I mean?
There was
he's not throwing the ball anymore. And it's like, okay, I'm done.
There was some on and off the field stuff that led to that. I mean, people. Thanks, Eddie.
I don't worry about him.
All right,
people can do their own research on that too. We don't have to,
I mean, they had the Bears last year.
Yeah, there were a lot of reasons why Stephon Diggs and he had
They had the Bears last year, Luke Getsy, and the offense coordinator as a team that passed the ball like 58% of the time. I mean, ran the ball 58% of the time.
Yeah, Bears.
And passed the ball 42. Or it was like 56.
So you want the numbers?
Yeah, 56 and 44. Yeah. How many of those runs that Justin Fields had were dropbacks for pass turned into runs?
I know what you mean.
I think the actual number was closer to 50-50, but because Justin Fields couldn't read what was in front of him, he turned those into runs.
Yeah.
And not every run he had was a designed run. I'd say about 15% of what he did was a designed run.
Yeah.
And after that, the rest of it was.
And I think it's important to like separate those out. Yeah. You're right about that.
But the ability to get something positive out of a play is a skill.
And so quarterbacks now more than ever, just because they're, the athleticism on display.
They're also more protected than they've ever been.
That's true.
And again, when Lamar Jackson can take this team all the way to playoff game.
AFC
he's gone to a Super Bowl. Has he gone to a Super Bowl?
No, not yet.
AFC Championship game. Then my point has always been you can win with a quarterback with the skill set that Lamar Jackson has. You can. He's won 2 MVPs.
He has.
Right?
I mean, last year's was a weird one because it just was a strange year for quarterbacks.
Well, when Baltimore went out to San Francisco and beat the living hell out of San Francisco and Purdy threw 3 interceptions.
That was it.
Purdy's chances to win are gone.
Yes.
So if Purdy in San Francisco wins the game, he has a decent game with no interceptions, Purdy wins the NFL MVP.
I think you're right.
Because he didn't. Lamar Jackson did. Lamar Jackson is a deserved winner last year in a year where there was nothing exceptional.
Yes.
The most exceptional guy might have been Puka Nacua.
I think
other than him is the guy.
I think that's a great. Well, Jefferson missed some time too. I think that's a perfect summation of how he won the award. And the thing I will continue to argue, and I said it a lot in January. I'm like, if I had a vote, my vote would have gone to Dak Prescott. Forget about the playoff game.
Yeah.
To me, Dak Prescott, if any quarterback had impressive stats last year, it was either Purdy or Dak. And I thought Dak should have won the award, but you nailed it. The trip late in the year to San Francisco, where they went out there and completely baffled and flummoxed Brock Purdy, and he had his worst game. That was it.
Baltimore's defense won Lamar Jackson the award. Congratulations.
Well said.
And there's nothing wrong with it. He's got 2. They're on the mantle. He celebrated and probably collected a nice big bonus.
I bet he did.
Good for him.
312-332-3776. It's Carmen in New York. We'll be right back.